There was so much talk that they don't want you to take Ivermectin. Ivermectin is the way to go. Take it. Joe Rogan got better from Ivermectin. And by the way, I don't like what people did to Joe Rogan about Ivermectin. I don't like it.
You did it.
No. Okay,
yes, you did.
Find the clips.
Dude, find the clips. You shamed Joe Rogan.
Find the clips.
You said he's taking horse dewormer. You and Don Lemon were chuckling at each other about it.
No,
I'll go find
first
the
of all,
clip.
you just saw the clips.
I watched it.
I'm not chuckling. I'm listening to Don. But
No. The clip I'm talking about wasn't on there, and it's absolutely there. Here, do we have it? Hold on. Let's play the clip.
Injecting drugs for animals and horse.
And people telling them to.
Oh my God.
What person? You know, you talk about cancel culture and who to shame. Ivermectin, a dewormer, really?
They are shaming themselves.
That's what it is.
They're shaming themselves.
So you're taking a dewormer right now.
Chris,
you can't apologize for that. You weren't being clear that it was this, and you know that, dude. You're being so dishonest right now, man.
I'm not being dishonest.
You were talking about Ivermectin, the drug. You were not talking about this version of Ivermectin. Come on,
What's going on, guys? So we got to react to this very intense debate that was had between Chris Cuomo, the disgraced anchor who went on this tear about the C-19 pandemic, tried to cover up for his now disgraced liar of a brother, corrupt Andrew Cuomo out in New York, and Dave Smith, the libertarian, who is right about a lot of things. I don't agree with him about everything, but he's right about a lot of things, certainly as it relates to the pandemic. This was hosted by Valuetainment, Patrick Bet-David's podcast, so definitely be sure to check him out over on his channel. But this was really intense. They really got into it with basically Dave Smith having lots of quips. The freaking audience even clapped back on Chris Cuomo. It was glorious. I don't know why this guy keeps coming back to get his cheeks clapped like this, but I think he likes it low key. Maybe he has nothing better to do. Maybe he likes attention. I don't know, but without further ado, let's get into it.
It was kind of amazing to watch you admit so many of the things that you admitted on the podcast with Pat, but at the same time, you laughed off the idea of an apology. Yeah. Your first thing you said was apology. No way. There's no way. And then you proceeded to go on to confirm what all of us had known for so long. But you, sir, were smearing people like us for having this view. You were, at the time when the COVID insanity struck, you were the #1 show at CNN. A time when the nation was going through a major crisis and totalitarianism swept throughout all 50 states. Actually, -1, I think South Dakota never had lockdowns. But during this moment, rather than doing what your job should have been at the time, which was to be skeptical of power and to shine a light against the propaganda, it seems like you ate up every single piece of propaganda, repeated all of it without any thought to whether it was true or not, and then smeared millions of Americans, like myself, who were opposed to this stuff. So,
man, hey, I got news for you, brother. They are the propaganda. That's something that is very obvious at this point.
That's where my beef is.
Chris, I understand your beef. Why would I not apologize? An apology is when you say something that you shouldn't have said, that was wrong to say, that you said for bad reason, or you're trying to hurt. None of those apply.
This guy is just less of a man. That's really what it is. I mean, if you're a strong man, a strong woman, and you know you're wrong, you apologize and get past it. But the fact is, when you don't apologize, a lot of the time, you never move beyond anything. Now, I don't think if you're actually not wrong, then you should just apologize to make somebody feel better, because that can be wrong and, kind of manipulative from other people as well. So don't do that. But if you're wrong here, you're wrong, and you definitely should apologize. And of course, he's just never going to do it. It's not going to happen.
There were absolutely mistakes made. The idea that it was a totalitarian regime, that's hyperbole.
No.
My main reason...
Okay, first of all, when I describe the lockdowns that swept this nation in 2020 as totalitarian, just to be clear, I'm not being hyperbolic. When you're waking up every morning to watch your TV, to find out from your governor what you're allowed to do today, including, am I allowed to go to work? Am I allowed to have a funeral for my father? Am I allowed to see my family? Am I allowed to step outside without a cover on my face? There is one word and one word only for that, and that is totalitarianism. I'm sorry. That's not slightly hyperbolic.
And Chris
Now, you
Cuomo
could
here is in freaking denial. Like, that's one of the reasons of many why I even started this channel up, is because of the sheer amount of frustration that I had dealing with the pandemic. Not to mention the main catalyst was when freaking crooked Joe Biden decided to try to levy OSHA to make it where I couldn't even work my job unless I got the jab. Like, at that point, I was like, okay, I'm done with Biden. I'm done with the Democrats. I'm done with everybody. Okay, I don't trust no government. I want as little government as possible. No new taxes. No, oh, we're going to restrict you in this way and that way for any reason. Like, no. I want to do whatever the hell I want to do. Like, I understand there's safety concerns and all kinds of stuff, but that's up to us, the people, to figure out. I don't want no type of government control telling me what to do, how to do it, when to do it, if I'm allowed to do anything, period.
Argue that this totalitarianism was justified because of the virus, but it is certainly not and it's not, but you could argue that, but it certainly is totalitarian. If we ever looked on paper, any of us at any point pre-COVID, and said this government is instituting this policy, we would all recognize that as being totalitarian, as totalitarian as any society has ever existed. If that word doesn't apply to lockdowns, then it doesn't apply to anything. Now, sir, you have completely shirked all of your responsibility, and now you're pointing the finger at China. By the way, you were one of the people who demonized Donald Trump for calling it the China virus at the time. Okay?
Facts.
So when it was convenient for you, you had no problem smearing someone for pointing the finger at China. Your entire network also called everyone racist if we speculated that it came from the lab. I had to stop talking about it for 4 months after that because I would have lost my entire YouTube channel, that was it. It was very clear if you said anything about that for months, you'd be shut down. During that time, you guys at CNN were just mocking everybody who would dare say it was a lab leak, and then we were unable to defend ourselves, or those who did got their livelihoods ruined.
I don't know what was happening on YouTube. I just
This guy, of course, I mean, he doesn't care about that. Like, this guy's never going to admit any wrongdoing. Like, he's basically still putting up a fake front because he doesn't want to admit, like, yeah, I mean, I basically was a left-wing shill for the corporate media. Like, he's still portraying himself as this character that he was playing on CNN, and he refuses to stop doing that because then he would have to admit that he was being disingenuous. What he's trying to do is pretend as though he is being genuine individual in terms of what he thought at the time, but we all know that that's absolutely not true, especially as we continue to get further and further into these clips.
Well, you could be accurate, which is
I'm being accurate.
You're not, because nobody thought.
What did I say that was inaccurate?
Nobody thought the interviews I was doing with Andrew were news interviews.
Well, no one I know thinks anything on CNN is news.
Okay.
But
Really? The commercial.
That's fine.
no, when it's on
fine,
the
but-
cable news network, the presumption is that this is news.
Hold on.
And it's pretty clear that you have the freedom of religion. And so where do you get the authority to shut that down? And you know what Governor Murphy said? He said, well, I'm not thinking about the Constitution. That's above my pay grade. So let me, just to make this
That's a
clear,
stupid
okay?
answer.
Yeah, it sure is. But you know what? Your brother and none of the rest had a better one. They just never got asked that question. So here's
but it has nothing to do with the First Amendment.
Yeah, of course it does, Chris. Here's the bottom line. There's no clause in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights that says, unless there's a virus that we don't know that much about and then this all goes away. The point is that it was completely criminal for all of these governments to lock down. They had no authority to derive the right to lock down a state from.
Fact.
And yet you, instead of anyone at CNN thinking, hey, if we have Andrew Cuomo on here every single night, maybe someone should ask him that question. They went, no, give him a cushy interview with his brother. When you guys were repeating mindlessly every day that there was some giant conspiracy with Trump and Russia and leading the entire country to believe that our election had been stolen by a hostile foreign power and that Vladimir Putin had, and once again, like we won't get out of you tonight, not one apology from anyone at CNN when it turns out there was zero evidence that that was true. And you could say we just guessed right, but all of us who were paying attention knew from the very beginning that this was totally made up. And of all the things you could say about Donald Trump.
How could you have known right from the very beginning that it was totally made up?
Because it was the most absurd claim ever. That when the CIA comes out and says Vladimir Putin has overthrown our elections and installed Donald Trump in there and presents zero evidence to back it up.
That's not the investigation. That's not the allegation.
Well, no, but it was what people on your former network said daily.
Listen,
it was what people on MSNBC
not only have I never said that Russia put in Trump,
so
I've never had anyone on my show who said that.
Let's just be honest here for a second.
Go ahead.
Are you going to genuinely tell me that CNN and MSNBC did not every day for 3 years give the impression that Donald Trump was involved in a conspiracy with the Russians?
They absolutely covered the investigation into Donald Trump from a special prosecutor every day.
This dude needs to be booed off the freaking stage, bro, because the level of gaslighting is some of the most gaslighting I've ever seen in history.
I said, if 2026, the second COVID comes in, and they mandate taking vaccines, would you take it? You said no.
I thought we're talking about, like, if they need me to take another one for this virus.
No. I specifically asked if another COVID comes out, and they force us to take vaccines, knowing what you know now, would you take it again? You said no. Just to qualify, that's what
I thought we were talking about. If it's this virus again. Well, why would I lie? Why would I lie about it?
Let me just show something.
Bro, why would you lie about it? Because that's what you do, Chris. I mean, this guy, the PBD. Look, I'd like to have additional conversation and dialogue with people who I disagree with. But when you have somebody who's lying and gaslighting and doesn't believe in apologies when they're wrong, like, basically his logic is, well, look, if I wasn't wrong on purpose, why apologize? Even if I called people dumb and stupid and made fun of them and got them removed from YouTube, and I mean, whatever, deplatformed wherever they got deplatformed, because at the time, let's not forget, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and probably some other places deplatforming people because of things that the fake news, like Chris Cuomo at the time, was saying. And he's acting like, no apologies, because, I mean, I didn't do it on purpose, guys. Like, this guy makes me sick.
You guys spent every day, all day long, demonizing American people who were skeptical about this, demonizing the people rather than demonizing the powerful. So, as of the presidential debates, Kamala Harris said, I'll never take that vaccine if that's a Trump vaccine. And you and nobody else at CNN vilified her for saying that.
They did.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
It was not until the following year in 2021 when the vaccines were rolled out. And yes, it is true. Chris, you can keep interrupting me.
You want it to be true, but it's not true. No.
Chris, could you play me a montage like that of people demonizing Kamala Harris for not taking the vaccine?
No.
When she said that? No, you couldn't. Okay, so I'm right.
Oh,
anyway.
That's the standard?
Yes, that's the standard.
So,
yes, 100%.
What's the point? The point is, so everyone was in on it?
No, just the corporate media and the government.
So
no, not everybody.
So all of
here's
these people who get
Chris,
paid by contrast.
No, not everyone, and not everyone who gets paid. Joe Rogan is bigger than every single show at CNN combined and gets paid more than every single person at CNN combined. And he was 100% right about this thing through the entire time.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me get this point out here.
Tell me what he was right about.
Okay, how about, you know what you just revealed last month on Pat's show about Ivermectin?
Yeah.
Joe Rogan was saying that, and you were smearing him for saying that.
Yeah.
You literally said he's taking horse dewormer.
Yes.
He should be ashamed of himself. You pleaded with your audience to not take it.
Yes.
Then you come back around and you go, hey, Pat, you know what I just found out? Turns out this thing isn't for animals. Turns out humans are. But Chris, that's a 5-minute Google search and you would have known that.
First of all,
how do you not apologize to Joe Rogan?
Listen, do you know who disagrees with you? Do you know who disagrees with you? The people who make Ivermectin disagree with you.
Hold on. What do they disagree with me about?
That the drug should not be taken as a standalone for COVID-19.
I never said it should.
This dude is a gaslighter.
No. He did not. Listen, see, this is the thing, Chris. That's
what Rogan.
This dude is, bro, I can't deal.
The drug should not be taken as a standalone for COVID-19.
I never said it should.
That's what Rogan was saying.
No. He did not. Listen. See, this is the thing, Chris. That is a lie. That is a blatant lie. Joe Rogan. So you just pretended that I said it's a standalone for COVID. No. Here's what it always was. Here's what Joe Rogan said. My doctor prescribed it to me. along with several other medications, just like your doctor prescribed it to you. That's what he said. What I'm saying is that it's not horse dewormer, as you and everybody else at CNN mindlessly repeated.
Now,
what he said, no, let me finish.
What
ahead. He said, and what I'm saying is that it is a medicine that's been prescribed to people millions and I think billions of times, and it was totally demonized. Why? You already said why. You said it 2 years too late, but you already said why.
No, here's
because
why.
No one owned it.
Here's why. What Pat has on his desk right now, you do not want to take, okay? It is the veterinary grade ivermectin. People were so desperate to get it because they were told it was a panacea. It was a cure-all.
By who told them that?
It was online.
Well, you just claimed Joe Rogan said it. You claimed I said it. Neither of us have said that.
Here's what happened. Okay?
If you think Joe Rogan said take any form of ivermectin you can get and you'll never get COVID.
I'm not blaming Rogan. Here's what happened.
You should be apologizing to him.
And again, listen. Listen. Here's what happened.
It's not going to happen.
Here's what happened.
Guys.
Also, let me tell you why I
happen.
think apologies in this context are a stunt. Okay, we don't accept apologies. Nobody accepts apologies except as an admission that you weaponize. That's why Trump never apologizes. He's right. Because if you apologize, everybody just beats you over the head with.
Trump's got a lot to apologize for.
This guy's basically saying, well, if you apologize, people are just going to be mean to you and basically take it as you admitting that you're guilty of something. Well, you might be right, at least in the short term, but people also have a lot more respect for people in general if you apologize, especially if you've legitimately done wrong and you're trying to make amends for it. In this case, he's probably used to dealing with like them left-wing lunatics who never forgive anything and just sees the opportunity to bully people into freaking self-deletion or something, whereas like a lot of these people are more independent and conservative and actually believe in God and Christianity and actually believe in forgiveness for real, not just bullying apologies, but apologies forgiveness contingent upon apologies and things like that, right? This is a big difference and probably one of the reasons why Cuomo doesn't want to apologize here.
And by the way, I don't like what people did to Joe Rogan about ivermectin. I don't like
You did it.
No. Okay.
Yes, you did.
Find the clips.
Dude, find the clips. You shamed Joe Rogan.
Find the
You
clips.
said he's taking horse dewormer. You and Don Lemon were chuckling at each other about it.
No,
I'll go find
first
the
of all,
clip.
you just saw the clips.
I watched it.
I'm not chuckling. I'm listening to Don. But
No. The
here's
clip
point.
I'm talking about wasn't on there, and it's absolutely
look,
there. Here, do we have it?
Here we
Hold
go.
on, let's play the clip.
Cook this man.
Injecting drugs for animals and horse.
And people telling them to. Oh my God. What person? You talk about cancel culture and who to shame. Ivermectin, a dewormer. Really?
They are shaming themselves.
That's what it is.
They're shaming themselves.
So you're taking a dewormer right now, Chris. Chris, you can't apologize for that. You weren't being clear that it was this, and you know that, dude. You're being so dishonest right now, man.
I'm not being
You were
dishonest.
talking about ivermectin, the drug. You were not talking about this version of ivermectin. Come on,
I
man.
was responding to a situation where we were told that this is what people were searching out to take, and nobody knew what it was going to do to them. Look, I'm taking the drug right now. Obviously, I don't think it's all poison. I have not spoken with anyone in preparation for coming here tonight who said you can say ivermectin works with COVID. That is my doctor does believe it can be effective. With she is cool.
Open-ended, anything to apologize for, anything.
I did not do anything on purpose that I thought was wrong.
So whether it was or not, whether it was or not, listen, sometimes in life, you're married, I'm married, I've been married 14 years.
I apologize
15
all
years.
the time.
That's the point. But sometimes we do stuff, whether it's intentional or not, sometimes we do things, and then we say, listen.
That's because I want the other
effed up.
person to be okay.
And there's millions of people that listen to you.
I know, but here's the problem. You're the minority. I don't like that Joe Rogan got beat up for taking it. I don't think anybody was in the right to say ivermectin was something you should be taking instead of the vaccine, or if you have it. We don't know that that's true. Even the maker of it says it. So, do I like that Joe Rogan got beaten up? No, I don't like it. And to the extent
But
that
you beat him up. But you're saying it like someone else did it. It was you.
But here's the thing.
We all make mistakes.
Pat,
that's the opportunity that.
Pat,
So-
I don't see that opportunity. Here's what I see.
I understand you don't, but
I got to tell you. Here's why. Because you believe that the way you see it is the only way to see it, and that's not the way it is.
No, but
okay?
I disagree. No, I disagree. I disagree. And let me tell you why.
Tell me.
You said, out of everything we've been going for an hour and 25 minutes, out of everything that's been said for an hour and 25 minutes, you said, I'm so sorry.
Fauci's going down.
No, I am so sorry. You said
Can't
out
get
of
a
the
break.
hour and 25 minutes, you said, I think Trump's right for not apologizing.
As a tactic.
And you're using his tactic. You're using his tactic.
I did not do anything
Chris,
that warrants an apology.
Okay, can we go over some more?
Well, no, guys, we're moving on. We're not staying on this thing. The only thing I'm saying is the following. You know when you're sitting here saying, they can't say this and the Ivermectin this and they didn't have the research and they didn't have the research. Dude, we have 9 months on COVID and everybody's talking about taking it and we're being forced to taking all this other stuff. We didn't have any research on this thing. Warp speed, the whole levels to be able to go, no, yeah, go ahead and take it, guys. If you don't, shame this. So that's a mistake, bro. That's a mistake. And then at the same time, like if you screwed up, boom, let's move on and go to, at this point, I know it's not going to happen. So I want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors.
Like, guys, this guy has no shame. Okay, this is one of the reasons I think that people are so upset with PBD for bringing Chris Cuomo on to his podcast to begin with, as effectively a permanent member, a part-timer, whatever he's hired to work with him. And this is one of the reasons I think people are upset with him, because this guy is a complete hack. He's not just an opposing voice. And I think this is one of the things that people don't like about him. He's not an opposing voice. He's literally a lying shill. He's a piece of garbage. That's the reason people don't appreciate him being a part of the PBD podcast, okay? This whole thing, he just lied and gaslit and put words in people's mouths. That's what Chris Cuomo does. That's who Chris Cuomo is. It's about time that people start recognizing it. This is all that the fake news media is. They have no reading comprehension skills. They have no comprehension skills when it comes to listening to what anybody's saying. That's somebody who they disagree with. That's all they're going to do is put words in people's mouths, make stuff up, lie, gaslight. That's all they do, which is one of the reasons why you got places like this podcast, the PBD Podcast, Tim Pool, etc., so that basically we can continually expose these losers for the real piece of garbage that they truly are. He's never going to apologize, because that will require a real man to do, and he's clearly not a real man. I don't even know what he is, but he's certainly not somebody who you should listen to and respect. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
When you're waking up every morning to watch your TV, to find out from your governor what you're allowed to do today, there is one word and one word only for that, and that is totalitarianism. I'm sorry.